and welcome to BQ Prime. You're watching a special interaction with Mr. Sandeep Garg, MD and CEO at Welspun Enterprises. Welspun recently completed its transaction wherein it sold off a large chunk of its road portfolio to Actis. Mr. Garg, thank you very much for joining us on BQ Prime. Uh, Sir, can you take us through the transaction first? Uh, what is the value of the transaction and how much cash that will come into Welspun Enterprises?
Thank you, Sajid. Thanks for taking on this show. So, yes, it is an important transaction for us. The total enterprise value for the transaction is somewhere in the range of 9,049 crores, out of which approximately 3,000 crores were received by us during the construction phase from the client. So the asset being transferred is a net value of about 6,000 odd crores. The two components of the transaction are the debt being transferred, which is in the range of 3,500 crores, and the balance is the equity. Out of this equity, we expect to receive something like 2,339 crores in the first closing, which is already in the bank now. And the balance consideration plus certain receivables from the client will be received over the period between now and March 2023. There's a small leg of this transaction which will close in the FY 2024 because there are a procedural requirement for a divestment of our BOT toll project in which is after the completion 12 months thereafter. So the 51% of that transaction will get consummated subject to the approvals from the client in the year FY 24. So that's what the transaction is all about.
So you would be getting around 3,339 crores and some additional cash for the 51% BOT project which is there, right? That's what
2,339 crores.
Yeah, 2,339 and the additional cash which comes from the stake of 51
receivables and
okay. Please tell us, how is this business going on? Because we saw a lot of industry chatter on the kind of financing for BOT projects, which is there. There's some alternate models which have been discussed as well. Where are we on that?
So yes, obviously there is definitely a lot of thinking going on the projects, how to implement them fast, how to get the right players to implement them. So at the governmental level, so we do expect certain changes. Changes are taking place as we speak. So I think on an overall business perspective, I believe that the business environment will be less competitive. The competitive intensity will be slightly lesser. The projects will have better margins going forward. That's what my anticipation is on the road. On the water side, I think the quantum of work which is unfolding is substantial, and we believe that that's as an EPC play will be a very good play to be in.
Give me a sense of how is it unfolding and which are the regions where we are seeing a lot of work being done on the water infrastructure. When we speak to some of the bigger players, they talk about the fact that many of the multilateral agency contracts are the ones which are now in play as compared to state government push or central government push projects. Is that right? And if that is which are the states where we will see this kind of push coming in from water or sanitation or these the allied services which where we are seeing a lot of push coming in terms of infrastructure.
So just to give you an idea, the UPJ, the Jal Mission's Har Ghar Nal Se Jal scheme itself is there is a substantive work still pending. So we are there already there in UP, and we see the next lot being awarded. So there is substantive work. Similarly, in MP, we just recently saw a lot of projects being awarded by MP government. In Maharashtra, if we look at it, there were these STP tenders which got awarded. So I think water as a segment is all across the country in different form and fashion, but the work is available in all practically every state, whether it's Orissa, whether it's whichever state you talk about. So I think the water as a segment is going to unfold in a much larger platform now. Yes, there are a lot of multilateral agencies which are also funding these projects, which is reliability of funds to the EPC contractors. So we do believe that that will be a safer contracts to get into. However, there are very strong state governments, stroke municipalities which are cash rich, where also the work can be undertaken by a company like ours.
Hmm. Uh, what is the kind of order book you're sitting on with respect to water projects?
Somewhere close to 6,000 crores.
And this is spread over what period, sir?
So one other project which is about 4,600 crores is the design and build is to be completed in about 4.5 years from now. And there's another project about 2,000 odd crores balance work, which will be completed over a period of 24 months.
And these are spread over which region?
So we are primarily right now in the two states, UP and Maharashtra.
Okay.
These are the two states that we are in. In addition, we also have on a MP BOT toll projects in water segment.
Mhm. You spoke about the fact that there's a lot of traction coming in from the water infrastructure point of view. Do you see that picking up in the next 12 to 18 months ahead of the elections?
For sure, I definitely see that there is a push from the government to improve the infrastructure, water infrastructure.
Okay. You are exiting a large chunk from your road infrastructure projects. Um, and water would be the large one which will be left. If I'm not wrong, you'll be left with two HAM projects and maybe one BOT project after that, right? Uh, so, how do you plan to augment your road infra order book? Are you looking at aggressively bidding for more projects? Because a lot of new projects and expressways are coming up. What is the right model to bid for them where developers like you will not be impacted much because of the kind of cost of capital which is now also increasing as a result of the rate hikes?
So two things I would want to say. Number one, that whilst it is true that we started our journey of the road development with the base of almost 800 crores, and we built a road portfolio of about 12,000 crores. So there is enough liquidity in the company to grow this portfolio further. Now, second part of the answer would be that would we bid aggressively? The answer is no. We do not bid aggressively. We have enough work front available for ourselves. So there are two HAM projects and one EPC project, which is giving up almost 5,500 crores worth of an order book for road. So I don't think we are ever going to be very aggressive at this point in time. We believe that there are enough stressed assets in the market which will give substantive return going forward. So if you look at the portfolio that we are divesting right now, uh, the four projects out of the six are the ones we acquired from the market and not won them. So we are very much focused on our return uh, uh, on the project. The key parameter for us to decide whether we will take it or not is whether it makes economic sense to take it or not. So that's something which we have never gone astray with. So we will continue to do so. I believe because of the changes the government is bringing in, it will be a less competitive market as well in the bid stage itself. And you're right that the BOT toll projects are getting very little competitive intensity. So that's something which we can surely look at.
When you look at a project, especially the stress projects, are there enough takers for those projects? Because many of them have become unviable because they've been bid aggressively. So even if the developer changes, the returns that can come from those projects are very little, unless it's the terms of the project gets renegotiated or changed.
See, what I said is that there are enough projects in the market. Now, I don't need to take every one of them. We will only take the ones which meet our return expectation clearly. So, the purpose of my bringing up that we, out of the projects that I'm divesting for, are the projects that we took from others who were not in a position to complete them, is to say that we have an ability to take over projects which are either under stress or need some support, and complete them and convert them into a value accretive proposition for our stakeholders.
What is the what is the kind of returns that you got from those four projects which you acquired from the market?
So as a bouquet, because I don't have the cuff the complete data, but the returns on the projects that we are selling right now, equity returns we don't look at because equity is misnomer. But at a project level, our returns are in the ranges of 15% plus
Okay.
IRR.
IRR. Okay. So that's a decent one, considering the kind of capital that you have invested in it.
Yeah, I
15%.
think it's a decent return. That we believe that we've always guided mid-teen returns, so it is upward of 15%. We are happy that we are able to demonstrate the complete business model of ours, winning a project or acquiring a project, executing it efficiently, completing it, and churning the capital, so and liquidating it. So that's the business model that we have, and happy that this transaction actually allows us to demonstrate the good full potential of the business model.
What uh, what will be the amount of debt that will be left on the books on a consolidated basis once this transaction is completed?
So on a consolidated basis, the gross debt for the company would be somewhere on the existing projects will be somewhere in the range of 850 crores. However, on a net debt position, because we'll have a lot of liquidity even on a consolidated basis, we will be negative net debt position even at console level.
How do you plan to utilize this cash which is coming in?
So the obviously we will, at the standalone level, we have something like about 630 odd crores, which we will definitely want to retire. And we have enough opportunities in the market to deploy the uh, in them in value accretive gains. Projects are available which will give us the returns that we are targeting. um, and we will allocation of funds is a board decision, so we will put up to the board the various options that we have to deploy, and then be guided by the board's decision.
My question was whether you're planning to provide shareholders some of the cash that you earned.
I am sure that's in everybody's mind, including ours. However, that's a board decision. We will present all the options and be guided by the board's decision in this matter.
Do you see infrastructure pace, picking up in 2023? Because in 2022 we have been a little slow in picking up pace. Private capex has been slow to pick up. Most of them were depending on public capex, which was coming in. When do you see private capex picking up? And if that is so, do you see that pace? You have enough of gunpowder to go and acquire assets and take them to completion?
Yeah, so that's exactly what our business model was. We created a war chest of about 800 crores initially when we entered into the development market. Now we will be having a war chest of more than 2,000 odd crores. So which will give us enough gunpowder to take up on these projects. Based on 800 crores, we could develop a portfolio of about 12,000 crores. So the 2,000 crores plus should give us enough capital to build a large portfolio. To give you an idea, we still have 4,000 crores worth of HAM projects portfolio in 2 projects. So we still have some divestments to go as we complete. So this will become a kind of a routine model for us to invest the capital, create an asset and churn it. So that's something which we look at. That will become a stable model.
What could be the impact on your top line because of these divestments?
So on a standalone basis, it should not cause much because the large everything was on a SPV basis.
On a consolidated basis?
On a consolidated basis, there will be certain mm, uh, reduction because MCP, the BOT toll project, had started throwing up the toll from 6th of April. But that's been only for the two quarters, so it's not going to be substantially any different on a year-on-year basis.
Mr. Garg, it was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you very much for joining us on BQ Prime, and wish you a very happy New Year as well.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.